So let's spew all of the resources. New dawn, new day, same doomsday. I'm not going to make any changes to the deck. The only change that I have made is I have replaced my mismatching terrible duresses with a terrible white border duress. um, the deck remains the same. The questions to keep in mind for this video will be whether or not we want to add a basic island to the list or can get by with the very greedy kind of balls to the wall, all non-basic, expensive mana base that I'm running here. The other cards that I could see potentially cutting are the One Ring and maybe one copy of Thoughtseize, honestly. In any case, we're going to run the list as displayed there today, just to get our feet wet with this BUg Doomsday deck again. See how it does today. We got a 4-1 last time, and we'll see what happens now. I'm mostly just got a little bit of time to kill while I'm waiting for some materials to come in for work. So why don't we play a game or two of Magic in the interim here? We'll see how far we get, and yeah. And if I can say one more thing, also, one thing that I would like to do for the channel, which I think would be kind of fun, is I would like to solicit achievements. I want to make like an achievement list that we can kind of play toward in our matches. So, like drop some plays or like crazy corner case lines in the comment box below. And we'll start making up an achievement list, and then maybe sometimes I can make suboptimal plays to try to get an achievement, which seems awesome. And speaking of awesome, like look at this hand, right? Have you ever wanted to just spew all of the resources and put a One Ring on the stack on turn one with a Thoughtseize to protect it? I know I have. So let's spew all of the resources. I think I'm going to lead on Dark Ritual. That could be super risky. Maybe I'm just supposed to go turn one Thoughtseize and then turn two Dark Ritual the One Ring. My opponent's on a mull to 6 though. I think I'm going to try to go for the straight up put the pedal to the metal line here. Yeah, let's put a Dark Ritual on the stack, shall we? I mean, this is just like a perfect use of 5 mana, is it not? Dark Ritual, Thoughtseize. Oh. Okay, how do we slow this down? Is defense grid something we're actually going to be concerned about in this game, or are we just going to try to ride this One Ring to victory? I mean, Mystic Forge allows for some pretty busted things. Maybe I'm supposed to just take the Mystic Forge here, though I'm not 100% sure. I don't have a force. I think I'm just going to take the Mystic Forge, and we're just going to hope that this ring can get us where we want to be going. But, like, obviously, if they find a Karn, the ring strategy becomes really bad. So, I mean, if there's a deck that I didn't really want to jam this this ring into, Mystic Forge would be an example of that deck for sure. So here's the Ancient Tomb, and I assume they're dropping the defense grid now, and we're gonna have to really like recoup our resources here and jam. So I think I'm gonna draw 2 off the One Ring, and then I'm gonna cast the Brainstorm, filter our hand around a little bit. We'll see. Let's draw some cards. Let's cast Brainstorm. There's the Doomsday for next turn. So as long as they don't Karn us, I think we should be looking all right. I think I'll play out this in case they have something like a Chalice on 0, but kind of not expecting it. And then next turn we should be able to just win, I would imagine. Just the One Ring is a powerful Magic card, but we'll see. We shall see. There's the Urza's Tower. So it's unclear whether or not they can produce a Karn. But I think we win even through a Karn. Like, we just have the Brainstorm in hand already. So even if they shut down, I guess the Karn turns off the pedal. But yeah, we can just do the thing. All right, let's see. What else have they got? 3 mana for something. Is it a key into Karn? Can they have key into Karn? They can. There's another unknown card here. There's the Expedition map. What could they be mapping for? Uh-huh. They've already played a land. They've got 1 card left in hand. I mean, all right. We'll lose some life here. Oh my gosh, it's just an embarrassment of riches. I guess we'll fetch again. We'll go Doomsday. And I imagine they just scoop here, but I will build a pile. Yeah, okay. I mean, they scoop here because we just have the one ring. We're drawing 3 cards into the pile. We have access to the whole pile off these street wraiths. So yeah. All right. That was pretty straightforward. It's what we like to see. What do we want against Mystic Forge combo? We want some Force of Negations. I think we want Boseiju who endures. I think we want Jace Wielder of Mysteries to beat Disruptor Flute. And we might even want these Shieldreds because they are a one-ring deck. And then there's like possible worlds where like on the play you want something like Duress, but on the draw you don't. As good as the one ring was there, I mean, look at that, right? You're talking about cutting the one ring, and then you just have the one ring on turn one with Thoughtseize backup and just win super easily. So, yeah, you gotta you talk poorly of the one ring, and then the one ring shows you why you were wrong. I'm guessing Flusterstorm's not that good. Veil of Summer probably unnecessary. I don't know if they play Chalice, if they play all of those, like they're playing defense grids, they're probably playing those in place of Chalice, but maybe we keep the Cavern of Souls in just to be sure. And then against Mystic Forge, I haven't been a big fan of Dazes too much in the past, though sometimes keeping access to one daze isn't a bad idea. Then I think we could honestly cut a couple of Thought Seizes. We're on the draw. I think I'll bring the Dazes back in and cut the other Thought Seizes potentially when we're on the play, though. Maybe that doesn't make much sense. And here we're cutting 1, 2, 3, 4 blue cards, bringing in 4 blue cards and cutting 3 blue cards. So I think that's fine. We'll sort by mana value. I think Shieldred's where we want to be. Could be a little clunky, a little chunky, a little slow, but there are matches or like games, right, where you just kind of put this Shieldred in and then things go well because they have like a one ring or something. It's also possible they're just boarding out their one rings and that we should just be trying to kill them with our combo deck. But I kind of Shieldred's one of those cards, right? Like it's not as committing as Baragoi. When you have 4 Baragoys in your sideboard, you kind of really got to commit. Ugh. Speaking of committing. Speaking of committing. This is a turn 2 Doomsday, but it's really got no point of disruption. I kind of want to mull this hand. Is that crazy? Like, we have the turn 2 Doomsday, but we just have no way to protect it and no way to draw into our pile. And we have one draw step. I'm going to mull this. This hand's very slow. I think I'll keep it, though. I'll put a Dark Ritual on the bottom. I feel like we're going to lose this game, but we'll see. Here's the Ancient Tomb. If they have Chalice, like Bob's your uncle, okay, defense grid's interesting. They're going to like have such a sigh of relief when we play this Undercity Sewers. Ooh. Well, they have the defense grid now, so like what am I pondering into? Am I just supposed to play Undercity Sewers? Where am I supposed to start digging? I might just start casting some cantrips here. I think I'm going to forgo the Boseiju for a little. Those cards don't strike me. I mean, Thoughtseize is all right, but the other cards aren't that good. So I think we any order shuffle. Okay, there's the P tutor. Nice thing about this defense grid is it forces them to play their disruptor flutes on their turn. So next turn we could go like Undercity Sewers tap, just cast Personal Tutor, put Doomsday on top of our deck, and then I think I like that. There's a Grim. Yeah, they can just do whatever they want to do here. Glaring Fleshraker. That is an old chestnut. Oh my god. We might not live to see another day, friends. We might not live to see another day here. Brainstorm off the top. Brainstorm off the top. All right. I'm going to play Undercity Sewers here. This surveil doesn't honestly matter, I don't think. Well, personal toot. Doomsday to the top, pass the turn. Do your worst, opponent. My fate is in your hands. My fate is in your hands. And I hope I slip through your fingers like water. What makes our life very challenging here? Karn kind of makes our life challenging. Yeah, Karn is not the card we want to see. Oh, this can go pretty hard too, can it? I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna F6. They can do as they please. They know I'm locked out under the grid, so just really got to hope they don't find a Karn. Essentially, really hope they don't find a Karn. What's the City of Traders from their hand? I don't remember. Is this a Karn? It's going to be a Karn. You totally know it's going to be a Karn. Oh, it's just a huge Kozilek's command. Oof. I do not like this one bit. So now they're going to scry 5 cards, and if there's a Karn in like the top 6 cards of their deck, I really dislike this card too. I actually dislike this card more than Sowing Microspawn, but that's because I play these like fast decks. It just is like, there's times when I've seen this card just do things that I didn't know were possible in Magic the Gathering. One of my friends plays Eldrazi at my weeklies, and there's just been like sometimes where I'll like pass the turn and it's just like double glaring Flesh Raker into like 20 things, and then you're just dead. How did they scry? Grim Monolith. I don't know how they scried. Well, at this point, I won't worry too much about it. How do we beat a Karn, though, without using artifact mana? Okay. They're probably going to name Doomsday because there's one just sitting on top of my deck. Yep. Am I dead? We're one turn too slow here. But like, look how this card pairs with this card, right? It's wild. And now they're going to lattice us. They'll sack a token, untap their monolith, and lattice us. Oh, another disruptor flute. All right. They're going to name Doomsday again. Does it stack? It does. Sure. We're not beating the double flute. All right. So on the play, you can sometimes get them on the play with these dazes. I kind of want to bring these dazes back in. I think we're going to cut Athos's Oracle, and I don't think that they're playing Chalice, so I'm going to cut the Cavern. Or do I just want the Cavern? Do I want to cut the Shieldrids when we're on the play? Maybe those are too slow. And then we can bring in, I guess, a couple of Thoughtseizes in place of the Shieldrids. I think I'm fine with that. Yeah, let's see if we can challenge their hand. Oh, is this just a win? Polluted Delta, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, consider, draw Brainstorm. I mean, yeah. Pretty sure this is just a win. And the Daze is the last card in our hand, and even if we get to use the Daze, I don't think there's anything they can do at instant speed. It's just Mindbreak Trap. But I don't think they play Mindbreak Trap if they're leaning on defense grids. I'm going for it. Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Thassa's Oracle, Street Wraith, Brainstorm, Lion's Eye Diamond. I think this works. So consider, bin Street Wraith, draw Brainstorm, Brainstorm into LED Street Wraith Thassa, put back Daze with Oracle on top. That should do it. So we want Oracle on the bottom, Street Wraith, Lion's Eye Diamond, Brainstorm, Street Wraith, Cast Lotus Petal. I think the only thing we have to worry about is Mindbreak Trap here, and I am not going to worry about Mindbreak Trap. There. Do this. And we can daze up to this point, and then we can no longer daze. So yeah, if they've got the Mindbreak Trap, I'm fine with that. But I don't think they play Mindbreak Trap. Maybe I'm wrong. Looks like it's in. It looks like they didn't have a chance. All right. Well, that second game got away from us. That can happen sometimes. Like these Turbo Doomsday decks, right? You really need to go underneath your opponent. And if you can't go underneath your opponent, and they like cross, there's like this threshold. I think I brought this up in the last video, right? There's this threshold, and as soon as your opponent crosses that threshold, the snowball just starts rolling, and you just get buried so quickly. Like you saw the Fleshraker into Mystic Forge with the end of turn or the main phase. And Kozilek's command just gives you so much selection. And then, yeah, the double flute or the Karn would have been our death knell. But we got there in game 2 with the beautiful turn 1, so that's great. Yeah, we're gonna go into another one here with the BUg Turbo Doomsday. So far, I'm like really driving with this list. Still not sure about the One Ring, though. It was pretty sweet there. And then again, the not playing basics is interesting, and not having Barrowglyphs in the sideboard means that our Delver matchup is like slightly worse. So I think if you got a lot of Delver, for example, wherever you play, if there's like a lot of devoted Delver players, I actually think the Eureka Neville Shoot tempo list is pretty sweet at beating Delver. You saw I played relatively poorly. I think in the tempo Doomsday video, I made some pretty egregious mistakes. But I think we pretty handily slaughtered Rug Delver. So if there was any kind of any good to come of that video, it was showing that the boarding out of Doomsday into the Barrowglyph beatdown strategy in tempo is certainly more effective than it is here. And then in this deck, I'm choosing, just because my sideboard's limited, I think I'd rather have 2 Shieldreds in my deck than 2 Barrowglyphs, and so that's why I have I'm playing the Shieldreds. But I wouldn't fault anyone for trying to squeeze some I wouldn't fault anyone for trying to squeeze some Barrowglyphs into the sideboard of this deck. What are we thinking here? We've got a Personal Tutor, we've got a Dark Ritual, but there's not a lot else going on here. We're dead to so many possible things, but maybe I'll keep it. I think I'm going to keep this. It's a pretty bad hand, I'm not going to lie, especially if we have to force on turn 1. I don't know what this means. No threat. Okay, Edge of Autumn's actually a pretty sweet draw. And then here's going to be a case where if this is Delver, we actually wish that we had the basic island in our deck. Because now we're spewing resources. Question is though, do I need to just jam a Personal Tutor here? I actually think I'm just going to play Undercity Sewers. If they want to wasteland this, then that's fine. At least I got a Surveil off of it. We can definitely bin this Polluted Delta. I'm just going to pass the turn. This way we hold our force up, right? If they are playing Show and Tell and they just go Ancient Tomb into Show and Tell here, that could be very bad for us. And we'll see what they're up to. Thundering Falls. Okay. Right, so if we put Personal Tutor on the stack there, we put Doomsday on top of our deck, we have an unprotected win the following turn, but they just played a Scalding Tarn, didn't play a threat, and then passed the turn and then surveilled. So yeah, this looks like probably some kind of Show and Tell deck. And I'm glad that we did in Personal Tutor now. Veil of Summer, sweet. Oh man. I think I might pass one more time here, because now we have Veil with Force. Oh, but putting a Doomsday on the stack is next turn with Veil Protection's wild. But we could, if we draw blue. Okay, so they are playing Delver. Interesting. So now I wish that I just now I wish that I had been a bit more aggressive. Wait, Delver? I don't know what they're playing. They might be playing Teamer Control. Delver wouldn't ever play basic forest, right? You never play basic forest in a days deck. I don't think. We play basic swamp in a days deck when we play Blue Eye Doomsday, but not when you're Delver, right? Okay, so they're putting the. Are they just seeking the beast again? What have they? We should be looking at what they have here. What the hell is going on? Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Exile the top card of your library. You may play it. What? Oh, what's happening? My brain hurts. We will continue. Great. Verdant Catacombs. Personal tutor. I should have fetched first. That was terrible. I'm so sorry. Tunnel visioning here. The unstable amulet has my mental game being unstable. So now we can't. And now we can't cast Veil of Summer without shuffling or throwing away our Edge of Autumn. But something tells me we want all of our things on our turn anyways, so we'll be fine. But we'll see. Double basic forest. What is happening? I don't know what this deck is. I don't know what's going on. Whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, this artifact deals 1 damage. Pay 2 energy, exile the top card of your library. You may play it until you exile another card with this artifact. That's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. I don't think that this is Sneak and Show either. Is it Food Chain? Like, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand. Oh, it is Food Chain, isn't it? Food Chain with Unstable Amulet? How we feeling about going for it here? And what if we just lead on Veil of Summer? If I put the Doomsday, how do we feel about just leading on Veil? I kind of don't mind just leading on Veil. And I will fight to protect it. Veil just resolved. Do they have some way to make me draw cards? Okay. I'll grab an Underground Sea. I'll grab an Underground Sea. Now I think we can just cycle. Oh, we can't quite just cycle to Oracle. Well, if they have a removal spell, then we can't just cycle to Oracle. Guess we could build a double Oracle pile. We have 1 force that can't be countered. So they'd have to have 2 removal spells in their hand. It's very possible they do have 2 removal spells in their hands. So I fucked up by fetching before I cast Doomsday. Yeah, I screwed up by fetching before I cast Doomsday. I was supposed to just have the fetch lands out, put the lands in my pile, fetch after Doomsday, and then we can clear our pile. What was I thinking? Well, this is how you learn things. Do as I say, not as I do. There's no way we can convert a spoils. I think I'm just going to make a double Oracle pile here. And just hope that they don't have like double removal spell. And if they do, that's like pretty bad for us. But this all could have been rectified by me just not freaking fetching like an absolute bonehead. I guess they could also have endurance too. Well, c'est la vie. Having 5 cyclers in the deck here would have been nice. I assume they're just going to kill this somehow, but we'll see. Again, I'm so stupid. Like, all of this would have been rectified by just... All of this would have been rectified by me just not fetching before Doomsday. I'm so sorry. That was really, really, really unfortunate. And now we're dead, I think. Wow, why did I do that? Always, like, check and always ask yourself, right, if you can... this is going to be Food Chain and then we're dead. Ice Fang Quaddle. Oh my gosh, we still got there. Okay, well, it never should have came to this. It never should have came to this. It did come to it, but it never should have came to this. I need to be... That's one thing that I've noticed in my own playing, like even coming back to edit videos. I often just fetch before I cast Doomsday, and I think that's often not the right course of action. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm really sorry about that. It didn't end up mattering, but I should have done that, and I'm glad that I recognize that that is what I should have done. Okay, so they're playing Food Chain. That actually makes me probably want this Boseiju. I think we want Flusterstorm. I think we want Veil of Summers. And then there's like, do we want these Carpet of Flowers? Do we want Shieldrids? Do we want Jace? So many cards we could play here. And like, what do we want to cut, right? We can cut the Ring. Probably cut one Oracle if we're bringing in Jace. So they're like a Pyroblast deck. Do I even want to bring in Jace? Why would I want Jace? Cut a Personal Tutor. We can probably cut like a Petal. We might be able to trim on an Edge. How else do I want to sideboard here? They clearly showed us removal, which leads me to think that I still want access to this Consider. I don't really want to go down on Ponders. I guess if I'm cutting an Oracle, I'm supposed to cut Spoils, but I do want Spoils in the deck. Could probably cut an Edge. But then, do I want, like, we could have Carpets in here too, but it's starting to get a little thin. I guess I'm on the draw, so I could see trimming a Daze. And I could see trimming maybe one Force of Will as well, because like we have double Fluster. We've got so many cards that we're bringing in here. There's 20 seconds left. I think I'm going to leave the Carpets at home for now, because they do have all these basic forests, like they can fetch around them. I'm not going to bring in the Shieldrids either. It seems like my opponent's got some clunkers in their deck because they're playing Food Chain, or at least that's what I suspect their plan is, to like go Amulet of Vigor and then like Food Chain kill, which is actually pretty sweet. Like you don't actually need to cast anything off the Food Chain. What do we feel about this hand? One thing I like about this hand is that the Cavern's already in hand. We're a cantrip away from a turn 2 Doomsday with something else, which is, I know, something that I've heard Wonder Pro mention before, and it's generally good advice, but like, did not want to draw that old chestnut, did we? All right. I guess we could have thought about boarding in Fawns too. Huh. I don't mind Thoughtseize, and I guess I'll take this Consider. It's not really what we're looking for, but we have the fetch land to fetch away the Dark Ritual, which we most certainly don't want. But this one feels like it's going to get into a bit of a slog fest here. A little bit of a grind donation, but we shall see. They're into the Hedge Maze. Taiga pass. They got like Seek the Beast in the end step. Maybe there's no reason for me to be so fast here. I don't mind Thoughtseizing my opponent. There's a lot of cards we have to be cognizant of. Jesus Christ. So there's a Force of Will. There's a Consign to Memory. There's a Brainstorm. I think I have to take the Force to start. The Consign, we'll have to remember's there. This is going to be a little bit of a skipper. We do get access to the Undercity Sewers, which we have to remember to do in our opponent's end step. Here comes the Quaddle. Ice Fang. They're going to start pecking away at our life total. We're going to fall to 15 when we fetch. They're just going to pass with like an EOT Seek the Beast. Looks like they're passing to go for the end of turn Seek the Beast. So we will seek the Sewer. Well, ain't that an old chestnut? Do I want a Spoils of the Vault? They are not showing signs of endurance at this juncture, though it is something. We could take a Spoils. I'm going to take it because we're building up a bunch of mana, and Spoils can be effective post-Doomsday. It can also get us the Doomsday in an absolute pinch, but I don't think we're at that point just yet. I'm going to go for a main phase Consider here. We'll consider that C straight to the bin. We'll draw a Fluster, which I guess we'll use to counter the Seek the Beast, or we could save the Fluster to beat the Consign to Memory, though I'm guessing we can probably find some other method of... I'm gonna counter this. I think that's a good use of our counterspell. Maybe I was supposed to hold it to like protect our Doomsday, but this, I don't know. I just feel like that's a creature that's eventually going to kill us. Now our spoils is getting worse and worse by the second. I still don't think I want to just EOT jam a spoils here though. Oof. We'll just keep passing. Might have been a bit premature on the fluster there. They're going for an end step fetch, and they didn't get the Thundering Falls. What does that mean? Oh, just a hard cast Brazen. Okay. They still haven't cast that Brainstorm. Now they're coming in for 4. So yeah, I kind of wish I just had the fluster at this point. Draw for turn. Sage Who Endures is not helpful. So now we've got to ask ourselves, right? Like, if I cast this Spoils of the Vault and it hits a Doomsday, then I could, like, I guess, edge into a Brainstorm, which would Doomsday, edge into Brainstorm, cast the Brainstorm, draw, Pedal, Duress, Thassa, play Pedal, Duress you. I think we go for it. This is going to kill us. It did not kill us. It did not kill us. Okay. Firing the Brainstorm. Doomsday just resolves. What happens? Oh. So they have the Galvanic Discharge too. Like, I don't know how we beat both the Galvanic Discharge and the Consign to Memory. I don't think we can beat both of these things. It's either Duress or Fluster. I think I take Fluster. Okay. Underground Sea on the bottom. Thassa's Oracle, Lotus Petal, Flusterstorm, Brainstorm on top. Cycle Edge. Oh no, they have Veil of Summer. And then they're going to kill us with the Galvanic Discharge. Shit, so Duress would have been better, but I guess Duress doesn't stop the Veil either. Would have there been a Jace pile from this spot now? Well, I'm dead anyways, so... Oh, and they've got the Pyroblast too. Sure. Okay. Well, we tried. We definitely tried there. Okay. Opponent ended up with a lot more than we thought they were going to have. I think I'm fine just throwing back here. Shieldred could be interesting against them, but I'm not really sure what I'd want to cut to bring in the Shieldreds. They have the Veil of Summer, so it's possible we actually don't want to have like all the discard in the world. Though we are going to be on the play here. We want the Dazes back in. Oh, this is pretty challenging. Maybe I'll bring one Shieldred in. Yeah, I'll bring one Shieldred in just to give us something else to do. This hand, I think I'm going to maul. It just doesn't quite look good enough. This one I think we can keep. We get in before the Veil. In before the Veil on the Duress, which is always nice. Jesus. Do I have to take their Veil, or am I supposed to take their Force here? The Veil's so annoying. I'll take the Veil, I guess. Maybe I'm just supposed to ignore the Veil like I got in under it, but Vale's kind of an annoying little skipper, isn't it? Maybe I was supposed to take the force though, because we're pretty bad at beating the force if they just find a blue card, especially like if they're gonna are they gonna pyroblast my ponder here? We'll see. They're just gonna fire it off, yeah. Okay. Our fluster doesn't stop their food chain. There's the amulet. Wow, are we just dead next turn? I think we're just dead. Incredible. Okay. What are the chances they don't have a blue card? One more mana and this would be so good. There's the force of will, pitch force of will. Shit. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Fluster the force. And now I think I have to like build a pile with Daze as the top card and hope that they don't have a land. Do I have to build a pile with Daze as the top card? And then I can just jam into the brainstorm LED, consider Fossa. Oh, we don't need. How crazy is this? We're not beating consign this way. Can they kill us with this amulet, or am I crazy? I think I'm going to try this. Maybe this doesn't make any sense. We've kind of fought through a lot of the things that they've got, so we shall see. I don't know if like the Daze isn't that good. If I don't have the Daze though, then I have the Veil of Summer, which seems great. But yeah. Okay. Let's cast Veil. I just gotta hope they didn't draw something else that's insane. Okay. Hold control. Cycle Street Wraith. It's the moment of truth. Did they draw Consign? They haven't manipulated their library. It's just two natural draws that we're fighting against here. They could have a discharge, in which case we're dead. They've got the Consign. All right. I don't know that I was supposed to play around Consign there. It just felt like maybe I was, but it just kind of felt like we had to like pick and choose a little bit. I don't know. What would have you done? What pile would have you made there? Let me know in the comments below. The fact that like we had the ability to cycle into Daze to stop a food chain, plus if we didn't have the Daze to untap and then Veil through this line, like they didn't manipulate their library at all. So yeah, I don't know. We fought through a lot of the things they had. We definitely made our best effort to win there, but we did not go. Very cool deck out of our opponent, though. I've never seen that food chain variation before, but that was sweet. Alrighty. Got a third opponent. We're on the play here. We're just looking for mana with this hand. Wasteland looks really bad for us. Wasteland looks really bad for us. I think we keep this hand. Do we Thoughtseize or do we just pass? It's such a like we have the force, right? So like we have a protection against Oopsal spells. We could protect our mana, which might not be a bad idea. And then Thoughtseize like a little closer to when we're gonna go for the Doomsday. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna prioritize saving my mana. This goes wrong if our opponent is on like a super busted deck. That can be multiple layers of protection. Also goes wrong if they just play a Wasteland. Island into Aether Vial. I don't really want to force that, but it could be annoying. Let's fetch for an Undercity Sewers in response. We'll keep that one there. Really wish I just considered now, but yeah, let's let this go. I think I'm going to hit him with the Thoughtseize here. Is there any world where I go for the greedy line of brainstorming first? Hitting another land would be so good. Hitting another land would be so good, but I think we're going to Thoughtseize. Oh, interesting. Guess we'll take one of their forces. We kept very similar hands. Their Nadu is our Doomsday, and we have about the same hand in a way, the double force. Okay, the Aether Vial Nadu deck is certainly fascinating. They top deck to Ponder. You kind of don't like to see that. Let's see what they do with their Ponder. They choose to shuffle, so that bodes well for us. They play a land. So there's one. No, there's not an unknown card in their hand. If we draw a land here and they fight over Doomsday, I think we win. Do not draw a land. Okay. Force of Will. Pitch Narco. We're going to Force of Will. Probably pitch Ponder, I guess. And then their hand is Illusionist, Nadu. How freaking crazy. Oh, man, we really want to draw another land there, but... do we actually have to go for an LED line here? I think we might. So, like, one option is to just, like, draw Lion's Eye Diamond. We pitch the Brainstorm to the Force. And then we consider with the LED. I think that's all well and good. We just do something like this. There's also, like, a world where we take it a bit slow, but they have this... Am I supposed to take it a little slow? If they draw Force where... Oh, I guess we can make this Edge of Autumn just like a cavern. That I kind of don't mind. So now we can go Oracle on the bottom with Wraith on top, Cavern, Lion's Eye Diamond. And if they pass like in our upkeep, we can consider the LED to the graveyard and draw the cavern and then pass with Force of Will still up. But if they commit and show us that these are the 3 cards left in their deck and we know for sure, then we have the win with the LED. That's at least my thinking. So we have like a little bit of some multimodal action here with the consider, allowing us to kind of choose which way we want to go. Aether Vial is really interesting. Is that common in Breakfast? That's kind of cool. All right, so let's see. Oh, right. They can just put the Illusionist in for free off the vial. So we could just be... I mean, thankfully, this is ticking, so we can't afford to pass the turn again. We actually just have to win next turn. And that's a Ponder. And I think that means that we force this Ponder. So I believe their hand now is Illusionist, Nadu. If I was a betting man, we force the Ponder, and now we draw the LED, bottom the other thing. Yeah, this is... Is this peak deck building? I don't know. So we hold control. We cast consider. We pitch this for triple blue in response. We put into your graveyard Cavern of Souls. We draw Cycle Wraith. Cast Thoracle. There we have it. All right, I liked the kind of 2 ways that pile could play. Didn't really think that the Illusionist was just completely uncounterable, but casting the spell we didn't know about, leaving us with perfect information, allows us to thread that needle quite nicely. So yes. Cephalid breakfast, you say? Boseju's pretty good at challenging. I don't know if I want Jace. I don't think Jace is actually that necessary, maybe. But how do we want to play against breakfast? Still don't have the sideboard mapping 100% down for this deck. I don't know if breakfast plays endurance these days in the sideboard. I don't think that it does, but this version's a bit different, right? Let's see. Can always cut a personal tutor, can always cut a pedal. I'm inclined maybe to keep the one ring in the mix here. I think I'm fine trimming forces. Like when we're bringing these veils and discard spells in, maybe that's insane. And then we can probably get by with trimming a couple of the cyclers. If we're bringing in the Jace, I suppose we can take the Oracle, and we might actually be able to get rid of the Consider in this matchup as well. Maybe cutting a force, though, against like Cephalid Breakfast is just like the dumbest thing imaginable. Sort by mana value. It's possible we cut like an Underground Sea for the Boseiju, though that's yikes, right? Is that yikes? Maybe another pedal instead. 19 blue cards is pretty aggressively low. We'll try it. Well, this is super interactive. I don't know if it interacts in the right kind of way. I'm going to mull this one, actually. Oof. Okay, we can keep this. Put a C on the bottom. And this hand's pretty bad. We'll probably just get trumped here, but we shall see. No Aether Vial from our opponent this time, which is nice. Brainstorm's a pretty sweet pick. We'll go for a Delta. We'll ship the turn. They like to make a play now. There's a Tundra. There's a Nomads. Undercity Sewers. Oh, Christ. Pedal, you say? Pedal would let us put Doomsday on the stack right there. But that's not like... That's not that crazy. Is that good? I'm going to keep the pedal. I don't think I'm going to play the Doomsday, though, but I think I'm going to keep the pedal. And it's possible I want to Brainstorm, though our blue count is so low. The Brainstorm can be a little bit of a risky biscuit here. I think I'm going to do it, though. So, like, if they have a Nadu next turn, we kind of don't want that to resolve. But I also kind of want to... Maybe this is a huge mistake. Yes, it was a huge mistake. Because now I just have no... I just have no protection at this point. Oh, I was supposed to put a land back too. Oh, no. Okay, I think we're dead here, unfortunately. I think I wasn't supposed to cast the Brainstorm and just hold up force with Veil backup. So we're kind of just sitting complete ducks to any of their combo pieces. Brainstorm is something we would love to see. Brainstorm is something we love to see. This at least means we're not facing down a Nadu. If this fetch gets fired off, though, I'm going to be sad. Because it's probably a sign that a Cephalid Illusionist is coming down the pipe and that I really shouldn't have Brainstorm. That was such a greedy Brainstorm. But I'm a little bit of a greedy Magic player. Yeah, okay. So now we go Bayou. We have to hit a blue card off this Veil, basically. Better lucky than good. Better lucky than good. Better lucky than good. All right. Now they've got 3 cards left in their hands. They didn't fight over the Veil. Hit me with a Cycler deck. Spoils of the Vault. What does Spoils let us do? Spoils doesn't let us win. Doomsday? Spoils does not let us win. Jace, Oracle, Veil, Edge, Underground Sea, Days. So we can spoils into days. Are they going to have a second illusionist? Like, we can't stop a second illusionist, which is really unfortunate here. Spoiling into days is our best line of defense. Maybe the veil's not necessary here. The veil should be replaced by like a duress. Okay. Underground Sea on the bottom. Duress. Oracle. Jace. Days. Pass. And if they have Nadu for 3 mana and not a land, we can daze the Nadu. Oh, well, that sucks. There's the illusionist. We certainly tried there. I don't think there's any way I can convert this spoils into a win right there, but let's just make sure. I want to see if they've got consigns in their deck or endurances or anything like that. Shuka, there's a stifle. There's a saga. Sword Supply shares are still in. There's the Dread Return. There's the Oracle. Stifle. I see one stifle, but I actually don't see consign to memory, which is pretty awesome. There's some Veil of Summers. Okay. So that actually leads me, I think, to just not want these duresses, especially since they have the Veil of Summers too. They left their plows in. Let's bring these cyclers back. I'm not a big fan of cutting these cyclers. And then we wouldn't mind. We did see plows, so I can see the consider potentially wanting to come back in. And then do we actually want this Boseiju? Kind of seems a little on the clunky side. Do we even need Jace? They have the stifle, so I don't think we need the Jace either. The One Ring strikes me as a little slow. So let's cut the One Ring. Do we want to bring a Petal or a Personal Tutor back in? Maybe one Duress. It's a lot of that kind of interaction. I'm going to bring a Petal back in just to be a little faster on the play here. All right. It's not the best hand. It's not the worst hand either. Thoughtseize in before Veil. I'm going to mull this. It just seems a little too slow. This one we can definitely keep. I guess we're playing more control here. Problem is the Flusterstorm isn't the best control card. They've got a Ponder, an Illusionist, and a Nomads. I think I'm going to take the Nomads to start here, since it combos with both Nadu and Illusionist. But yeah, this isn't feeling good. We need some land drops ASAP. Tundra's in, Ponder's in. I mean, that would have been a great hand to keep that last hand against, like the one that actually had Doomsday and a bunch of lands in it. This hand, we're going to be like we're looking for cantrips or land trips here. Fetch would be the best. Thoughtseize. Get another one of those in before a Veil, I guess. So they're going to have, we need to get this right. Then we're going to take one of their Illusionists, leave them with 5 cards. We're going to have to force this other Illusionist, and then we're going to die to Urza's Saga tokens. That's how I foresee this game going. We are going to lose to these Urza's Saga tokens. They're just passing. Land. Another Personal Tutor. We're going to grab a Ponder. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't supposed to mold that hand. Urza's Saga. Ticking up. We're dead to this saga. You heard it here first. I think at this point, we're just supposed to force pitch Fluster. They've got Veil. Now I need to force pitch Veil. Now I've got absolutely nothing with a Ponder on top of my deck. Oh my god. At least there's only going to be one Urza's Saga token, I guess, instead of 2. That's one nice thing about this. We need Dark Ritual Doomsday land. I think I'm just going to cycle this now to get us through the Ponder. Play the Underground Sea, ship the turn. But yeah, this one has not panned out for us. There's a Brainstorm using the fetch off the Saga. So they're not even making constructs. That's actually kind of surprising to me. But maybe they just have the illusionist and we're dead. Nomads. Equip. Okay. We're at 12. Let's cast a consider. I guess we'll draw Doomsday. Now I guess I kind of wish I had that Street Wraith, but we would have had to bin the Street Wraith to see the Doomsday there anyways. Alrighty, that'll spell our end. That one spells our end. Oof. Not off to the best start this time. Losing to Food Chain and Nadu Breakfast. But also, yeah, that's all right though. So far, not having basic lands, as far as I'm aware, has not come back to bite us. I think I was fine not to play around Consign against that Food Chain opponent, given they only had 2 natural draws. But I also think that I mistook how their combo works. Like they can't just play Food Chain and then cast the Mist Hollow Griffin for free out of their amulet, right? They actually need 4 mana to do that. So I think I might have been a little too worried about just being immediately dead to the Food Chain combo there. We'll keep this one. Let's see. This one's like, it's all right. We're on the play, so we do get to lead on the Thoughtseize here. I kind of want to do it off Bayou. Is that insane? I don't think it's insane. I'd rather the Bayou get wastelanded, right? So than my Underground Sea. So that's at least the reasoning I'm going to go with. Oh, it's been so long. It has been so long. It's called Ruby Storm, right? Am I supposed to take Ruby Medallion? Or am I supposed to take Ral Monsoon Mage? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell during your turn, flip a coin until your next turn. Instants and sorceries cost 1 less to cast. Ral deals 2 damage divided as your choice among 1 or 2 targets. Draw a card if you control a blue. There's on the top 8 cards. Do I take Ral or Ruby Medallion? I think I'm going to take Ral just because it seems like it does more things, but I don't know. I rarely ever play against this deck, so I'm not 100% sure what the right take is there. Unfortunately, we just can't Flusterstorm some of the things that matter, like this Ruby Medallion. If this was just a Spell Pierce, that would be sick. And they just top deck the Ancient Tomb like a fucking baller. Mad respect, opponent. All right, you've got a Medallion. Do we have a Doomsday? No. Okay. Manamorphose. One of these mountains is played. Reckless Impulse. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards. I think we let this one go. And for the same reason, we probably let that one go. Medallions in. Then are they passing? That's great. Okay. They use that. We're going to grab Undercity Sewers now. I think we probably bin that. Force of Will, not a bad pickup. We'll just pass. Playing good old Doomsday Control here. The other mountain we knew about. Jeska's Will. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play them this turn. I think I'm just fine with this. Like, oh, there's an Elemental Eruption. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, let's see how good Flusterstorm is, I suppose. Burgi, God of Storytelling. I think I'm going to force the Burgi pitching Thassa. Manamorphose is fine. Just going to let them cast this Elemental Eruption here. Ooh, a Desperate Ritual too. You go. You go. This is so unrealistic. Oh, we're getting punished today, folks. But I'm hoping that they're all in on this Eruption, and then we can fluster it. And then, I don't know, draw something sweet, perhaps. These things have haste. They do not have haste. There's a Jeska's Will. I guess we got to really hope they don't find Defense Grid. Defense Grid actually doesn't stop us, because in response to Defense Grid, we can Dark Ritual. Seething Song. Is this the Ruby Medallion now? Yep. They've got... Oh, they're going to use the Seething Song to pay? Oh, no. Do I have to Dark Ritual here? Well, the Storm Trigger can resolve. That much is true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they have access to 5 red mana. And I'm going to have 10 Storm. I actually think I'm screwed here. Did I screw this up somehow? Let's add one more Storm. And I guess we'll cast a Flusterstorm. And then they're going to Seething Song in response and actually just blow us out of the water here. Okay. I guess I was supposed to counter something along the way there, but I don't know. I wasn't supposed to cast the Dark Ritual either. Still end up with 5 dragons. Yep. Alrighty. On the play, am I just supposed to go super fast here? I can see like wanting these fawns regardless. Veil strikes me as something we don't really need. Flusterstorm is interesting. Cavern of Souls, I mean, they could have Red Blasts, right? So we'll keep that. They don't really draw cards as far as I'm aware, so Shieldred doesn't strike me as the best card. I mean, Boseiju is certainly also pretty powerful. It's possible we want access to that because it can kill a Ruby Medallion. And if that were true, it's possible we can just get rid of an Oracle. Though it's also possible we want to keep our pitch cards. But I just want to remain as kind of balls to the wall as possible. I'll cut an Ancient Tomb. Oh no, I have 61 cards. Oh no. Well, we can fix that pretty soon here. Is our opponent going to have Mind Break Trap, and do we care? They might have Mind Break Trap, but I've got the turn 1. I think I'm just going to punch it here. We're on the play. We are on the play. Let's get the second turn 1 win of the league here. If they got Mind Break Trap, I think that's just Bob's their uncle. They're going to play Mind Break Trap in there. Or Ruby Storm deck. I really need to do some like research into what some of these decks like actually play in their sideboard. Maybe at the beginning of our next video. They look thoroughly F6 to me though. So I've already got the Brainstorm in hand, which means we need Vithasa. We need the Lion's Eye Diamond. We need the Consider. We need a Street Wraith and a Street Wraith. I think Bob is our uncle here. Yep. These are the skippers. Oracle to the bottom with Wraith on top. And then I guess we go Consider, Wraith, Diamond, Petal, Brainstorm, put back Misty, Consider on top, play Lion's Eye Diamond, hold the control key, cycle the Street Wraith, crack this for triple blue, cast the Consider, bin the Misty, cycle the Wraith, cast the Oracle, and Bob's your uncle. All right, all that was 61 cards in our deck. Don't tell anyone. Shh. And now we're on the draw, which makes... Maybe we don't even need the Consider here. Do we want the Flusterstorms? We probably should play Flusterstorm against Storm. Didn't seem very good in that last one, but it might have been better if I had just tried to stymie. Like, I just let them get away with it, and then they just showed that, like, yeah, it's very easy for them to beat a Flusterstorm. We could take out a Thoughtseize, but that strikes me as a little strange. Maybe it is just the Oracle. Could also cut one Petal. Yeah, let's do that. Did I cut the Thoracle? Thank God I didn't cut the Thoracle. This is like the reason why you don't cut the Thoracle. I mean, this hand is sweet. Spoils is a stressful card. There's a lot you can do with it. This is not a turn 1 win, though, unless we draw like a cycler or an LED, I suppose. Mountain, Rite of Flame, Ruby Medallion. I think I'm just going to say no to that. Untap, upkeep, draw. It is a land. I guess I should have played the Petal after to play around Mindbreak Trap here. That was foolish. There's the Doomsday again. So we need, I guess, like Underground Sea. We need Thassa's Oracle. What could they have to stop us? Realistically, I guess they could have something like Disruptor Flute. They could also have Red Elemental Blast, so we might want this Cavern of Souls. And if they had Disruptor Flute, Lion's Eye Diamond plus like a Cycler. But then I kind of also want Daze. Do we need to be worried about dying to our opponent here next turn? I don't know if we do, but what if we went like this? I guess we can cut Lion's Eye Diamond and Street Wraith for Dark Ritual and Underground Sea, maybe? Okay, this gives us some amount of flexibility, I think. Now, how do we want to skin the pig? We want Oracle on top. Sorry, Oracle on the bottom. Underground Sea. Dark Ritual. Okay. So if we need days, we don't get Cavern. Oh, that wasn't right then. That wasn't right. I did this wrong. Ren's Resolve. I think this resolves. I did this wrong because the days is on top. And now they're just passing. So I think I draw the days. Oh, no. Sorry. I had the Cavern on top. Right. Okay. I did this right. Sorry. Cavern of Souls. Name Wizard. Sorry. I had a minor meltdown there. Cast Spoils of the Vault. Name Thassa's Oracle. Cast Thassa's Oracle. Okay. Jesus. I don't know if I was supposed to play around Disruptor Flute there, but it kind of felt like something they might have, and so having the Dark Ritual in the pile at least means that we're not straight up dead to a single flute. Let's see if we can clench the 3-2 here in a moment. All right, everybody, welcome to round number 5. Been getting a lot of these one-lander hands. Kind of makes me want to play 17 lands in this deck. That actually might be something I would look into doing. I'm going to keep it. We got Forces of Will if they're on Oops. We've got a means to find more lands, ideally in the form of Ponder. We've got a Personal Tutor, which can pick up our Doomsday once we find either a Ritual or our lands. Then we've got a Flusterstorm. And we've got a Cycler already, too. So yeah. Let's see how it shakes out. It could go any way. I really hope we're not playing against Delver here. This isn't the kind of hand I want against Delver. I was very excited about this bug list. Still pretty excited about it. I have my weeklies tonight. And I'm torn between playing this Bug Turbo or giving the Bug Tempo deck another spin. I might sleeve up the Tempo deck, to be honest. All right, our opponent, they just skipped their turn. Okay. They mulled to 6 and skipped their turn. What does that mean? Either it means it was an accident, or they have some reason for doing so. Maybe they are playing Oops, and I'm supposed to pass with Fluster. But I am going to Ponder. There's the Doomsday. Really need lands, though. I think I'm fine to take these. I'm gonna pick up a force because I am a little scared here. If they do wasteland us, we can cycle edge. That'd be a crazy though, just to pass your first turn because you have a wasteland in your hand, right? That's like if it was your only land drop, maybe you would do that, but something tells me they just time walked. And it might not even matter because our ponder didn't quite find what we were hoping to find off it. But we do have, as long as they're not playing a wasteland deck, I feel like we've got ways to ensure that the game goes on. What is happening here? Our opponent's just passing the turn again. What are you up to? Okay. So they're up to Necro dominating shenanigans. What do you take here? You take Chrome Mox, I guess? You take Pact of Negation? I think I can beat a Pact of Negation in a fight. Summoner's Pact. I think I just take their Chrome Mox. Maybe that's wrong. Maybe I'm supposed to take something like Beseech the Mirror. But we will see. Mm-hmm. We're drawing Doomsday now. Can I cast this Consider? I could cast Personal Tutor. What does that get me? Not a lot. I could just pass Spinning Edge. Or Binning Veil, rather. I kind of want to try to find a land, though. I'm going to consider... Oh, wow, there's another force. I want to put the force into the graveyard. We do find the land. Okay, let's pass. Putting force into the graveyard's got to send some goose like shivers down my opponent's spine. We escaped going to discard. Maybe just picking up another force there was great because now we're in a position where I actually don't get to force. But I kind of want to kill them with this Pact of Negation. If possible. They're just passing again. Okay. If we draw a blue card, I'll be a satisfied little skipper here. Tropical Island, the only land that doesn't let us cast Doomsday in our deck besides the Cavern. Okay, they're making a game action now. Wild Cantor resolves, I think. The Cantor is in. We'll teach this Wild Cantor a thing or two about continuity. Something to do? They've got Pact of Negation. Can I just cast Veil of Summer now? Am I allowed to just win here? Let's cast Veil of Summer, see what our opponent wants to do. If they pack the Veil, I might just pass. Veil's in. Search your library for a green creature, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Even if they play Endurance, though, like I can just... Even if they play Endurance, I think we just get to pass, right? I think I'm just going to go in here for the Brainstorm pile. They're completely tapped out. Veil's in. They, like, can't pact us. Tell me I'm crazy, but I kind of feel like we can just do all this. Kind of feel like we get to do the things here. That even if they pact, they won't be able to, like, pay for the pact. Or at least that's my rationale. If I lose this game, then it was certainly right just to... If I lose this game, it was certainly right just to pass with all of our protections up. They are tanking here. I don't know what these Necrodominance decks play. Oh, they could Born. There's no way they can Born Upon a Wind kill me. Can they Born Upon a Wind kill me over top of the Oracle? After all this, am I still just supposed to pass? I feel like that requires like a lot of mana. And I feel like we know every card in their hand except like one. So, yeah. Hold control, cycle, triple blue, pitch our entire hand. I would be very impressed if they can kill us over top of a Thassa's Oracle. But who knows? It's also very nice just doing all this. Do they play a 1 of Endurance? No. Okay. Had me worried there with those pauses, opponent. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or non-basic land. That player may search their library for a land card with a basic land type. Okay, that might be good. Force of Negations might be good. Shieldred could actually be good on the play, like a turn one Shieldred. Kinda, I don't know if I want these Veils. Lusty. Like, am I supposed to become control here? Is that the world we find ourselves in? Kind of not cutting blue cards seems like a good idea. I think we can get away with trimming one of those. You might even be able to get away with trimming one of those. Probably don't need today's maybe consider as well. Maybe the Oracle's supposed to stay in just for Skipperdoodle's sakes. The old Skipperdoodle. Sort by mana value. Do we actually want all of these Veil of Summers? Like, they are a Tendrils deck, right? Do they win with cards other than Tendrils? I'm taking this to be the Necro Dominance deck because I saw Oops all spells. Or sorry, I'm taking it to be the Necro Dominance deck because we saw Born Upon a Wind. Maybe just 2 Veils are fine. Let's try it like this. We're on the draw, so I think it makes sense to board up into control, and then maybe when we're on the play, we'll just pivot back to like the main deck configuration with just a few extra cards and try to get them with a turn one. But I generally don't mind taking a controlling posture against these combo decks, or at least that's the way that I've been playing Doomsday against like basically all combo decks. The Doomsday Mirror, Oops all spells, Necrodom, Show and Tell, Omnitel. I like to just kind of cut a lot of the fast stuff and just take my sweet little time about it. This time we're on the draw. We've got a turn 2 Doomsday. We have a Flusterstorm. We got a Lotus Petal, and we got a Duress. Let's see if our opponent keeps their hand. I kind of think we need free interaction, right? They're mulling. If they have to pass the turn even once, I like this hand. In fact, I like this hand a lot. If we were on the play, this hand is like baller, right? Like turn 1 Duress, you pass with Flusterstorm up. Do we risk it? We are up a game. They mulled to 6. I'm gonna mull though. Like, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no. They kept. Is a 5 with force better? Is a 5 with force better than this 6? I'm gonna mull. I started mulling because I wanted to get a hand like this. And now Okay, we have to keep Force. We have to keep Days. We have to keep probably Trop Bayou. Or then it's, do we want Doomsday or Veil of Summer? We're pretty far from casting the Doomsday. I might just put Petal Doomsday on the bottom. They're passing. Wow, so yeah, the first turn, first hand would have been great. Both of these cards are here. Let's go for the Trop. Obviously, not the best card when it comes to casting the Doomsday, but we put the Doomsday on the bottom of our deck, so we're not about that life currently. Here's a Cabal Ritual. I think I'll let the Cabal Rit go. Another Cabal Ritual. Sure. If they go for the... oh, it's a Beseech. I think we let the Beseech resolve. Think we have to force this, right? Like if they just have a Spirit Guide in their hand, it's so bad for us. And if they have the Pact here, the Veil of Summer's so freaking good. There it is. Do you have double Pact? If they don't have another Pact, we get them in their upkeep. And this is why you bottom Doomsday Petal, I think. I think this is precisely why you bottom Doomsday Petal. Yep, there we go. You don't need to put Doomsday on the stack. I've killed like kind of oops Necrodom players with their own Pact quite frequently. It actually happens more than you might think. Okay, so yeah, we got another league, another 3-2. This is like, I'm like the most average Doomsday player on the face of the earth, I feel like. But I'm fine being average. We don't need to be exceptional. We can just keep kind of trugging away, keep grinding out our 3-2s. Those are fine. We lost 2 matches this league. We lost to Cephalid Breakfast, where I think I made some errors in like perhaps my mulligan decisions. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I feel like I mulliganed like a slower hand that had Doomsday in it for a hand that only had 1 land in it. And then we kind of got punished and just buried under multiple copies of Illusionist and multiple copies of Nomads. In the food chain matchup, we got very lucky in game 1, but we only needed to get lucky because I made a mistake. So remember, before you cast your Doomsday, just like double check, right? See if it would be more beneficial for you to fetch before you cast your Doomsday. Or if it would be better for you to cast your Doomsday and then fetch. This is something that I think I've almost like autopiloted. I just like tend, or like my tendency is to like just fetch before I cast Doomsday. But there's a lot of value, right, to just putting a couple lands in your pile, especially if you have a cycler in hand and your plan is to go down to the Oracle. It makes perfect sense there, right, to just like to build a pile that's got, I don't know, like Oracle, Underground Sea, right? So like if you have some if you have cyclers in hand, or one of them was exiled, or you boarded one out, you got fetch lands, like this still lets you get a perfect pile, because if you have 2 fetch lands like on the battlefield, right? Because you can cycle down to your Oracle, then you fetch. Now you have 0 cards in your deck, you cast your Oracle, and you win the game. So that would have blanked both their Brazen Borrower and their Galvanic Discharge in that game. So that was just foolish. We could have avoided that. We could have made both the cards in their hand not matter at all had I not cracked my fetch lands before. And then game 2, I think that was the game where we had to like spoils from 10 life. We found the Doomsday. We were able to put it on the stack, and then I think we tried to build a pile that played around Discharge and Consign by using Flusterstorm. And then we like put one of our pile, I think we put a Brainstorm on the stack, and our opponent responded with a Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer is like a really good response in that, especially if you're protecting a consign, right? Because Veil of Summer stops your opponent from discarding the consign using a duress. Like it stops us, sorry, from discarding the consign using a duress, and it stops us from flustering this consign. So like my plan there was to hope that I put the Oracle on the stack, and then to hope that they go in on a consign to memory tapped out to counter our Oracle trigger, and then my plan was to fluster the Oracle trigger. But because they actually like brainstormed themselves, changed the contents of their hand around, they were able to get us with instead uh, Pyroblast plus Veil of Summer. And so be very careful. Veil of Summer is like a very hard card for us to navigate, especially in conjunction with the consign to memory. This is actually something that I've never seen come up, or like I didn't realize how good that is against us until just today. So bear that in mind. And then in game 3 against the food chain opponent, we basically kind of saw their hand. We knew what they were working with, but we had given our opponent 2 more turns to draw some things. And then I like built, I think my first mistake in that match was not realizing that they can't just kill us with their food chain next turn. So they had the Mist Hollow Griffin right underneath that amulet card. And in my mind, for some reason, I was like, oh, they just play food chain and then cast the Mist Hollow Griffin. And then we're dead. Then they just keep exiling, recasting, and each time they do it, we take a damage to the amulet. But that's just not the case, right? Like you only go infinite if the Mist Hollow's like already been cast or in play, as far as I'm aware. And so I don't think I needed to put that daze into my pile, being so scared of the food chain. And if that was like instead perhaps a discard spell or a Flusterstorm, I think we were pretty tight on the mana there that might not have even worked. But in any case, they had 2 draws. They didn't manipulate their deck in any kind of way. And I just decided that I wasn't going to play around consign, that if they drew the consign, then we lose, and that's fine. And sometimes, right, when you're building Doomsday piles, like remember you can beat anything, but you can't beat everything. Especially when your lands are like ours were there. It might have been like a Bayou and an Underground Sea or something. Like it's really hard to convert those in. And so we were able to use the Veil, which made our Oracle uncounterable through a Lion's Eye Diamond, right? So we could convert our minimal resources into a win using Veil of Summer. That actually like it's like right, like usually this line loses to like any Lion's Eye Diamond line loses to a Force of Will, but we were able to play around it by using the Veil of Summer, which means that I think we blank more cards by going this direction in that spot using Veil and Lion's Eye Diamond than we do just trying to beat Consign. Now, if they had cast a Ponder and like Din Shuffle or cast a Brainstorm, right, like things might be different because then we don't know some of the contents of their hand, and they're more likely to have the consign that we'd be worried about. But I think in that game 3, like our resources were just so limited that I just wanted to kind of get the job done. So I took the line that I took, and they drew the consign in the top 2 cards, and you know, like sometimes that just happens. So I think like the losses. There might have been other piles that we could have made to maybe play those games a bit differently. Maybe we weren't supposed to mulligan the way that we mulliganed against the Cephalid Breakfast. But this is all learning, right? It's all part of the experience of playing Doomsday. This deck is very challenging to get right. And so, you know, you kind of just got to keep playing it, or at least that's been my method, is to just continually play, maybe experiment with a few cards, experiment with different sideboarding strategies, and just keep putting Dark Rituals and Doomsdays on the stack, and eventually you start to get a little bit better at it. I'm by no means good at it, but I was like much worse than I am now when I first started playing Doomsday. So I think it is one of those things where we're just trying to get those 10,000 hours on the deck. Though that sounds pretty degenerate when I say it out loud. But hey, it's a lot worse things you could do for 10,000 hours than playing Legacy Doomsday. With that, I will wish you all the very best, and I'll see you all again soon for some more Doomsday action. This is the Semiotician signing out. If you liked the video, feel free to drop a like, drop a subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll be back soon with some more action. Alrighty, cheers everybody.